What's up guys, it's Reaper again. Today I'm bringing you a video I've been wanting to make for a while now. That video is the top 3 Supercross tracks for beginners. I'm going to go through and break down my favorite parts of each track and why I think they will benefit you as a newer player to the game. Or maybe some of you are like me and have like 900 hours in the game but only have like 50 in Supercross. All these tracks are going to be an aerial track, so that'll help you get used to the tracks all the pros are running, and maybe it'll help you compare your lap times to them and just be on the same tracks with them. I think is fun. Before we jump into the video, I'd like to take a second to remind you guys that the vast majority of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So why don't we take a second and smack that subscribe button like it took your lunch money. And now let's get back to the video, starting off with probably the most difficult track of the 3, and that is 2021 Arlington 3. I think Arlington 3 is a good track for beginners because the majority of the rhythms are super easy and simple. In the first rhythm, there's some big lines, especially if you're on a 450, you could quad a few sections. Also, for being a pre-beta 17 track, the traction really isn't that bad. The Supercross triple is really easy, which tends to be an issue on some of the newer tracks, and this track was created before they started to add roughness to the track, so it's pretty smooth and straightforward. I think this track will help you with timing and whoops. Timing because you can easily overjump a few of the rhythm sections, and you need to be careful to time the jumps to keep a good flow. The whoops are really easy, but they still require you to be set up properly to go through them with any sort of speed. Another thing about this track is it's actually the only track in this video where all the tough blocks have collisions on them. The other tracks only have collisions on specific tough blocks. This makes the track a little bit more challenging, but also helps you stay a little bit more consistent in those rhythm lanes and through the whoops, as you'll be front flipping if you hit at the tough blocks at all. Our next track is 2022 Atlanta. This track is brand new, like it literally came out today, the day I'm recording this video. As soon as I jumped on, I immediately felt like this was a perfect track to add to this video. I think it's a cool addition to this list because it's not a traditional football or baseball stadium, so the track is a lot longer and faster because it's on a NASCAR track. The majority of the rhythms are pretty straightforward, with the exception of the quad and the first rhythm lane after the start straight. The quad over the table is pretty challenging, but I don't think it's that necessary to get solid laps in, and you can easily triple onto the table without an issue. Probably the most challenging part of this track would be the whoops. Stone Rider started making the whoops like super cupped out and rutted a few tracks ago, and it really raises the level of difficulty in them. Like, the whoops are smaller, but since they're cupped out and rough, it'll just kick your back tire every which direction. Even with the whoops are actually easier than a lot of the other whoops in his newer tracks, so I don't think you'll struggle too much. I think that this track will specifically teach you how to time rhythm sections at faster paces, as well as just getting you comfortable on a Supercross track. I find that these rhythms are kind of laid out already for you. Like, some of the rhythms are hard to triple. Like, it seems like he specifically spaced the jumps on these, so you're kind of locked into specific rhythms. The next track we're going to go to is going to take all the skills you learned on both of these 2 previous tracks and kind of put it all together into one of the most fun tracks I've ever ridden in MX bikes. And that's 2022 Seattle. Seattle is probably my favorite track right now. The way Stone Rider built this track is just incredible. The way the ruts form in the corners, the roughness in the whoops, it's not too rough, but it's definitely rough enough to throw you around and make it challenging. You know, it's still easy enough that you can have fun. The whoops specifically are really easy, and on this track, I feel like you just click third and let her eat and you'll be all right. I think the timing you learn from Arlington 3 will help you in the rhythms on this track, and the timing at speed in Atlanta will definitely help you in that first rhythm. You can hit a huge quad out of that corner in the first rhythm. It's actually not that difficult. If you just click fourth and roll the throttle on, you can quad in. The really fast guys are actually quadding over the tabletop on the second rhythm lane as well. But overall, this track has such a good flow, and I promise you'll be addicted if you give it a chance. Guys, Supercross takes a ton of practice, so don't feel bad if you're struggling. I suck at Supercross. Most people I know suck at Supercross. It's just difficult. I think these 3 tracks will help you with Supercross because they're challenging enough that you're going to have to learn new skills, but they're easy enough that you won't be summiting your monitor every lap. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, consider smacking that subscribe button and liking the video. And as always, I love you boys.